This is the introductory video to a playlist for my updated Urban Bug Out Bag version 3.0. If you happen to stumble upon this video, I'm going to include a link in the description box below. If you click that link, that'll ensure that all the videos appear in sequence, and you can watch them at your own pace. For those of you unfamiliar with the concept of a bug out bag is basically an emergency supply kit that you have stocked ready to go. It's usually stored in a backpack and stored in your home somewhere. And it's supposed to allow you to have the emergency essentials to get you from your home to a safe location in an emergency. So oftentimes you'll see a bug out bag meant to get from someone's home to a bug out location that's miles and miles away from your home. And that's more of the long range intended use for a bug out bag. But there are more shorter range uses for a bug out bag. For example, if you have a fire in your home, if there's an earthquake, if there's a flood, maybe you just need to get out your front door and into your front yard, for example, because your building's unsafe. So a bug out doesn't necessarily mean you have to go hundreds of miles away. It may just mean that you're going into your front yard. But no matter the case, that bug out bag is going to have a set of emergency supplies, food, water, shelter, medical supplies to allow you to survive in an emergency situation. Let me start off by providing a little bit of background information to this particular project. I initially started getting into prepping back in 2009 when I got married to my wife. And one of the first projects I made was a bug out bag. And I didn't really do it with any kind of rhyme or reason. I just gathered a bunch of supplies, threw it into a backpack, and it was kind of a mess. And when I started my YouTube channel back in 2011, I really wanted to relook that bug out bag and organize it and take more of a systematic approach to it. And so I started a video series called Building a Bug Out Bag, which I started here in 2011, and I went through, I organized the bug out bag into multiple modules or compartments, and I wanted to collaborate with people here on YouTube, which I did, and I finally released that bug out bag, which I called version 2.0, at the end of 2012. Well, it's been a few years now since I aired that initial video, and my bug out bag has continued to go through multiple changes through evolving, and I figured it was time to release Urban Bug Out Bag version 3.0. So the reason that I wanted to do a redesign and document it here on YouTube is there's several different reasons. The first being that I'm constantly changing and modifying all of my kits. I don't ever want to become stagnant in my prepping, so I constantly want to evolve, rethink things, collaborate with people on YouTube, and just constantly try to improve things, make it better and better as I can. Number two is just the overall YouTube production quality. When I initially did my YouTube channel, I had no idea that I'd be doing it to this day with the amount of subscribers that I've been really fortunate to have over the years, and my cameras and everything's a little bit better. So a lot of those initial videos were done on my wife's flip camera, which is kind of a lower quality one. So now we're all 1080p, high definition type stuff. I wanted to make sure that all those modules were with the latest and greatest, at least as far as my personal production quality. Next, I've done a few different video series here on YouTube that I wanted to ensure that was integrated into the bug out bag project. The first one being a video that I called The Color of Prepping. I'll include a little video annotation here. And basically the whole idea with the color of prepping is that I wanted to color coordinate all of the modules for all of my prepping supplies, whether it be a bug out bag, EDC, my home preps. And so I conducted a survey here on YouTube in which I asked people to state what color they thought of most with a particular category. So for example, medical, people associated red with that. With food, people associated green with food. With water, people associated blue with water. And I wanted to ensure that all of that was integrated into this new bug out bag. The second project is one that I called prepping circles. And basically the whole idea with prepping circles is that I was kind of rethinking the tiers for an entire prepping system that all starts off from your EDC and then going out from there. So the concept of EDC moving on to a go bag, moving on to a bug out bag or get home bag, and then your home preps. So I wanted to ensure that a go bag was a very high important module included with my bug out bag that could also be broken out if need be. And so I wanted to ensure that that was included with this video series. Next, there's just a lot of new products and new technology now than there was back in 2011, 2012. The amount of high-powered LED flashlights alone is just impressive. There's a ton more new knives now than there was then. And there's all sorts of Kickstarter campaigns by different preppers, survivalists that are constantly going with new ideas. And I wanted to make sure that I included a lot of those cool ideas that I currently have into the bug out bag. And lastly, I just wanted to ensure that I made weight for my bob. My version 2.0 was around 45 pounds or so. That wasn't the goal weight that I had. I really want to make it 35 pounds or less. So that's the goal that I'm going to have for the updated Urban Bug Out Bag version 3.0. All right, let's talk over the high-level strategy. So again, with this particular video series, it's going to be a system of modules. In the previous version, I call them compartments. They're really modules. They're meant to be taken out, and they can be put into a whole new backpack if need be. And so we're going to be doing a module deep dive. And so when I say modules, I'm talking about categories of supplies for your emergency supplies. So the big three are food, water, and shelter. Those are pretty common for anyone that's doing any kind of emergency kit. Then I have other modules such as a fire module, a medical module, and maybe a cooking module, clothing module, hygiene module, comms, personal items, and each one of those has a designated color associated with it. I'll include all these in the description box. So we're going to be doing a deep dive into each of those modules. And then you'll probably notice as I do a module video, then a couple product reviews will come out of it. So we'll deep dive into a few of the cooler items that are included with those modules. So everything with my channel kind of revolves around the large projects that I do for it, whether it be a EDC type project, a kit project like a bug out bag, go bag, EDC bag, or the home prepping stuff. And then I try to break out some of the individual items from there. So I'll do product reviews of things that I'm either testing for one of those kits. And that's kind of how my YouTube channel is kind of structured. And that's going to be basically the strategy moving forward as far as the high level strategy for this updated urban bug out bag. So now let's talk about the concept of urban versus rural. So as the name of my channel suggests, it's called the Urban Prepper. My bug out bag, therefore, is going to be tailored more with the intended use of being used for an urban environment. So let's talk about some of the stuff that's in scope and out of scope. So since it's an urban kit, we're going to have stuff that's more tailored for an urban environment, suburban environment. You may see tools such as bolt cutters, for example, glass breakers, different pry bars, things like that. Some people probably would not want to include those in a rural kit, because if you're out in the woods, do you really need a glass breaker or bolt cutters or anything like that? So some stuff that's going to be out of scope on my particular project is things like hunting supplies, for example, snares and a fishing pole, a fishing net. Those things probably won't be included in my particular bug out bag just because it's not readily available in the area that I live. But I just want to let you know to keep that in mind as you're watching these videos and like, hey, he forgot to include a fishing pole on there. That's just because I don't really have a lot of access to that kind of thing. So with everyone's kit, it's basically you kind of want to tailor it for your own personal environment, your own region, your own state and national laws. And so this is just going to be tailored more towards my particular environment, where I live, and what the laws allow me to do. So that's going to be the design of this particular bob. Again, all the items in my bob they're kind of custom for my personal needs, but I find that organization is something that's more universal, and that might be more beneficial to those of you watching this video, where you might not agree with the particular items or gear that I include in there, but you may agree with just the organization strategy. That's something that's more universal and what I'm going to hopefully highlight in this video series. So here's a list of the type of videos that you should expect to see in this playlist. The first one are going to be more of the milestone videos, so the modules. So you'll see a dedicated video for a particular module that's going to dive deep into that module, and then we're going to have multiple modules appear, and then basically I'm going to have to play Legos with those modules to be able to fit them and include them all in one cohesive kit. With each one of those module videos, I'm going to be adding in the description box below a PDF that you could download, and it has a list of everything that's included in there, why I included in there, the quantity, where I purchased them at, and you could download those PDFs for each of the individual modules. With a lot of my kits, I always try to include a PDF. That's just something that when I was watching videos, especially early on, I wish that I didn't have to frantically write down notes and, oh, I want to include that, oh, I should check that out. And I was like, man, it'd be cool if I could just download that or just have that all listed out so I could focus more on the video. And that's just kind of the strategy that I do with my YouTube videos, but they do take a long time. But I think that if I create the PDFs individually for the modules, it'll be less time consuming for me. So expect to see those PDF links in the description box for each of the milestone module videos. I'm also going to dive a little bit into more of the philosophy stuff for my bug out bag project. Again, everyone's bug out philosophy is there's vast differences in them. I'm just going to touch a little bit on some of my philosophy, and then also it might just be something that's more generic or universal, such as the choice of a backpack, for example, or a weight of backpack, or how to integrate it with caches, things like that. That's a little bit more universal than the particular bug out locations or things like that. Towards the end of this video series, I'm going to do the finalized Urban Bug Out Bag version 3.0. It's going to include everything that was covered in this video series, although it's going to be probably more highlighted with all the deep dive videos still there in this playlist. And I'll include a final PDF document that has everything included for the Bob. And that's going to be one of the final videos for this particular video series. But one thing that I really wanted to have for this particular video series that has been a common request is to do more of a live demo of it, or a demo of it, and document it here on YouTube, a 72-hour demo of using the kit. And that's been a common viewer request, and the reason I haven't done it is just because it's hard for me to, as a family man, it's hard for me to allocate 72 hours to be away from the family and to be filming a YouTube type video. And I also need to build up some extra vacation time. But hopefully as this project unfolds, then I'll be slowly building up that vacation time and be able to do the demo that it shows all of the items and modules and kits and show it in action. All right, that about wraps up this introductory video for the playlist for my updated Urban Bug Out Bag version 3.0. So if you're watching this video on the official playlist, you should see some other videos on the right-hand side of this particular video, and that's going to have in order all of the modules and the philosophy videos. So you can just start watching away at your own pace, and as time goes, I'm going to keep adding videos into that playlist until we get to that final version of the Urban Bug Out Bag version 3.0 and the demo. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you enjoy watching the video playlist for the updated Urban Bug Out Bag. Leave any comments below in the comments section, and let's get started with this video series featuring my updated Urban Bug Out Bag version 3.0. See you guys.